We started raising Wagyu cattle in 2010, and a relationship we have with some of the chefs we sold to in Las Vegas asked us if we could get this breed of cattle here, and we've never heard of the breed. Took a trip to Spain to research the breed and try the steaks, and we were kind of sold from that point on. And I think our first ones were here in, I think we started the process in 2017. I think we had 12 calves at first, and then we're built up to around 80 head. Probably 50 females and the remainder steers.
So yeah, we were the first company to bring this breed into the USA. The biggest thing too with us being small farmers is we really market to restaurants that can take the whole animal mostly. Because we're small farmers, so we can't sell a strip loin or those kinds of things. We really want to have restaurants and partnerships that are going to do nose to tail as much as possible. It
marbles later in life, but the breed's known for its deep beefy flavors and its tenderness. The double muscling trait it has is actually a defect, but that's a direct correlation to more tenderness. It's top tier beef, just like Wagyu is, just kind of a different direction, different flavor profile. They're primarily grass fed. We do give them grain from time to time, but we're trying to do grass fed just because it's a little more cheaper. And the chefs want the yellow fat cover, which seems crazy because everybody's looking for white marbling, white fat cover, but the chefs want the yellow fat cover on these, and you get that from the beta carotene in the grass. If I had an Angus beef that had that yellow fat cover and yellow marbling, I really wouldn't be interested in it myself. The flavor just wouldn't do it for me. But the breed's got just different flavor profiles. Deep, beefy flavor, and then the fat's real buttery.
So you get that more the older they age. Started the American Rubia Gallega Association so we can help other breeders promote the product, understand the product, market the product. We also are going to focus on important crosses like between Rubia Gallega and Wagyu. So you have this special premium product. But the biggest thing is just bringing more people in. For this breed, there's less than 200 head in North America, so there's really no competition. We got 15 different farms that are now members, and nobody's really going to be competing against each other for at least the next decade. And all the big restaurants in big cities really do want this beef. It's been internationally known and celebrated in Europe for years, and so being able to bring the product here to the U.S. is fabulous.
All our beef is sold in the U.S. We've sold to Bazaar Meat, Jose Andres restaurant in Chicago, Vegas, D.C. Another restaurant we picked up, it's called Asador Bastion in Chicago.
But we actually met with the Spanish Rubia Gallega Association, and they've been very critical for us in providing education on this breed and how to do it properly. It's a great partnership for them to be able to actually bring genetics to the U.S. because we can actually help grow the genetics worldwide. I think there's only, how many thousands in Spain?
25 or 30,000 breeding age females in Spain. Right. And the whole country, that's not very many.
That's supplying all of Europe's best restaurants. So to be here in the U.S. and to provide this market and to start doing that here in the U.S. is huge.
Galicia, Spain is kind of like Oregon. It rains quite a bit there. It doesn't get real cold. The grass is green all year. I don't know what kind of grass they have. We've asked, one thing, if you go anywhere in the U.S., you ask the farmer what kind of grass you have. They'll tell you each pasture what they have. We asked every farmer in Spain, what kind of grass is this? Nobody could ever tell us. So we've got a customer in Montana. He bought a heifer from us. Her first winter was minus 47 degrees, and she did fine. She even gained 2 pounds a day during that winter, which is crazy. Their heat tolerance is better than Angus. Not as good as Wagyu, but Angus will be in the shade all day long because of the heat. Wagyu will come out and they'll graze when it's 100 degrees. And this breed, they'll go in and out of the shade all day long grazing. To get the embryos and the semen over here took probably a year. And then once you get those implanted in surrogate cows, which are using Angus for that, you've got to wait for the right time, the right season, because you want to have your calves at certain times of the year. It probably took us 2 years to get calves on the ground, and then you got to wait for them to grow before you can breed them or flush embryos out of them. So it's a pretty lengthy process.
We've done a lot of that legwork for them, so it's going to be easier for other breeders to get involved now because there is genetics here. Having started this already, it's always going to be easier for more people and more people to join in.
Finding the market, you got to do that first before you start anything because the market's not easy. You've got to build a relationship with chefs, but you also have to have product to show them. So you're years away from having a market, but you're growing the breed. That's the hardest part. So you have to be able to fund that, with commercial cattle or some other venture.